I'm on kind of a roll call here. Got an SRT4, and it only goes in the fourth gear in neutral. You can't move it side to side, and like I said, it only goes in the third or fourth gear. So we suspect that it's the shift selector on the transmission. So we're going to pull that off real quick and take a look at it. And if it needs to be fixed, we will take it back to the shop and fix it, just that part. Right now I'm at this guy's house just checking it out. So we're going to pull the battery out and the intake tube and all that, and pull the shift selector off. Alright, you can't see it now, but the shift selector is back in there. You have to remove your intake and your battery, and probably the tray to get to it. So we're going to do that real quick and get down. Alright, once you get the battery out and the battery tray, you're down to this here. There's 7 bolts. There's one back there. It's kind of hard to get to. There's one up here. It's underneath the shift plate here, and we're going to have to just back it out as we bring it up. But it's pretty easy to get to, other than those 2 bolts. So we'll go ahead and pull those out. Alright, so this trans mount stud comes out. It was, it sticks out, and it was hard to get the selector out. So we did go ahead and loosen this up and make it flush with the mount here. We didn't take the bolt all the way out. Now here's the shift selector, and right here is where they break, right in the middle here. There's the broken piece right there. That was still down in the transmission. I was able to fish that out without losing it inside the transmission, which is a good thing. So we're going to take this back to the shop, put it in the vise, pull these pins out, replace the parts, and then we'll come. Alright, you can't put this in a vise, but I don't want to do that because I don't want to mar any of the surfaces, and these usually aren't too hard to push out. So the first thing we're going to do is take out this one here. This is the long one. Just get a punch that'll match up and start to beat it out. Alright, so that one comes out. And what you're doing, you're taking these pins out so you can slide this shaft out. So we'll work on the little one now. And that one's out. So once those 2 are out, you should be able to slide this shaft out, and then we'll replace the parts. You can see here it's coming out. So I'm going to go get the parts, and then we'll replace them real quick. Alright, once the shaft's out, you can go ahead and pull this out. And you can see here, this is where it's broke. And here's the broken piece, of course. So all you do is just slide this in. And we also got a new extender gear, which is this one here. So we'll slide that all together, and then get this thing back on the road. Temporarily till you break something else. Alright, once you get it all lined back up, go ahead and put the pins in. Go ahead and put the long, I each put the long one in first. Put the long one in first. Hopefully the shaft doesn't turn too much. Don't force it in. So I can see where that's at.
Go.
Alright, so this one is, you're going to be almost flush. You see it hangs down here. This one's back in. Usually what I do is just leave a drift in there and kind of leave it lined up, and then once it's lined up, go ahead and drive it in. This one's a lot easier to drive through than this one, and you just want to make sure, which there's no other way to do it. You know, this one here goes on the rod, and then the other one on the bottom. After this slides in, on the bottom of this one there's a cup and a slot here, and that has to be lined up with your linkage. And after that's all lined up, go ahead and drive those in. So we're going to go ahead and head back to the car. It's all assembled and ready now, and we'll reinstall it, make sure it shifts, and then we should be good. So anyway, that's that simple, really. And I think he got these aftermarket. This is AGP, so I don't know. You can source it online, or I'll find out where he got them from. Leave a link down below. But this is the reason why we're here. You see this comes up through here, and it's not broken. And once that breaks, you can't shift the car. This piece right here. So hopefully if you're doing this, you can recover this piece and doesn't fall down the transmission somewhere. So anyway, we're gonna load up, go back to the car, and get this thing back on the road. Alright, we're back at the car now, so we're just going to simply set that back in there and start the bolts and then tighten them down. Alright, two things I'll point out. The first thing is on this front bolt here, you can't get it out all the way. You have to just keep lifting this up as you pull it out. And then when you put it back in, obviously you just start it. And then this back one here, it's underneath the ABS motor. And if you get yourself a flat ratcheting swivel 13 mil, it makes life a lot easier. Cut a lot of time out. And they're not a sponsor or anything, but I use these little Pittsburgh metric flex ratcheting wrenches, and I think they're about 25 bucks for a set. And the set's not real complete. It goes from like 10 to 15. I think it skips maybe one of the sizes 12 or something. I can't remember. But for the money, it's worth throwing it in your toolbox, because I go back to these quite a bit because they're short and they get into tight spots, and then with the flex and everything. And I've actually tried to break the 15, or I thought I was going to break it, I didn't. So they're actually pretty durable. So anyway, not a sponsor or anything, but these are nice little wrenches to have in your toolbox. So now we're going to put the shift linkage back on. Alright, so we got it installed. You can see here, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So it's fixed. So we're going to go and put the rest together. Alright, so I'm under the driver's side here, and if you look here, there's a hole. Some of them have a plug, a little plastic plug you have to pull out. This one's gone or missing or whatever. But there's a hole here. Get yourself a 18 millimeter socket and just put an extension through there, and that's where that transmission mount bolt is. It's kind of in the way. Take the gear selector out. I've already got this one tight, but that's the access hole. And if you back that off, it'll give you room to move that gear selector out. I'll kind of show you what it looks like underneath, on top of the car, but I just wanted to show you where the hole's at. And alright, so here's that bolt with the end of the bolt sticking out, and if you back that off till it's flush, you can get this gear selector out. So that's pretty much it. We're just going to put the air intake hose back in, the battery tray and battery, and this one's considered done. So if you're having trouble getting your, if you're kind of stuck in a gear and only go in one gear and go neutral or whatever on your SRT4, it's definitely worth checking out. Make sure your gear selector is not broke on the inside. And you know, I've heard people take their cars to get the transmission rebuilt or whatever, and anyway, this is one of the solutions if you have that problem. It's not always a guarantee. These do bend forks a lot, but it's worth taking the time to check this before you spend that kind of money to have the transmission rebuilt or whatever. So that's it. 7 bolts, battery tray, air intake, and it comes out, and then the long bolt for the mount. So anyway, we're going to end this one and put it back together and get it back on the road. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. As always, God bless.